Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we've got a pretty wild idea for you, something that could completely change how we think about getting to Mars. I mean, what if, instead of spending billions building a massive spaceship from the ground up, we could just, hitch a ride on an asteroid that's already going that way? Yeah, you heard me. We're talking about turning these huge space rocks into a kind of interplanetary highway system.
Okay, so before we dive into how that would even work, let's back up a little bit and talk about the problem. I mean, when mission planners are trying to figure out how to get humans to Mars, what's the one thing that keeps them up at night? What's the biggest hurdle?
Well, it's not really just one thing, is it? It's this whole cocktail of really tough challenges. First off, you're looking at a 6 to 9 month trip. That's a long time to be stuck in what's essentially a tin can, all while you're getting blasted by dangerous deep space radiation. And then, there's the weight problem. Just to get a crew to Mars and back again, we'd have to launch hundreds of tons into orbit. And you know what most of that weight is? Fuel. Just fuel.
So to get around that insane fuel requirement, some really smart people came up with this concept called the Mars Cycler. Just imagine a spacecraft that's already in a permanent orbit, one that just keeps swinging between Earth and Mars over and over again. It's kind of like an interplanetary bus route that's on a fixed schedule. And the best part? It barely needs any fuel to keep going.
Probably the most famous version of this idea is the Aldrin Cycler. And yeah, that's Buzz Aldrin. He helped figure out this really elegant trajectory. It basically creates a sort of up escalator to get you to Mars, and then a down escalator to bring you back to Earth. And using this, we could potentially cut that one-way trip down to just under 5 months. Pretty incredible, right?
Okay, so how would this actually work in practice? Well, you don't launch the whole giant habitat from Earth every single time. That would defeat the purpose. Instead, you launch a small taxi craft from Earth into orbit. That little taxi then speeds up to meet the cycler as it's flying by. The astronauts hop over to the big, comfy, permanent habitat for the long haul, and then when they get to Mars, another taxi comes up to meet them and takes them down to the surface. It's a pretty slick system.
But here's the catch. The cycler solves the fuel problem, sure, but it doesn't solve the habitat problem. We would still have to build and launch that gigantic habitat in the first place. Buzz Aldrin himself called it a castle in space. And getting something that massive into orbit, that is a huge engineering challenge on its own.
And this is where the idea goes from clever to absolutely revolutionary. What if we could combine these two ideas? I mean, why even bother building the bus when we could just hijack a mountain that's already flying past on the right path? The proposal, and it's a serious one, is to find asteroids that are already in these perfect cycler orbits and just turn them into our spaceships.
Think about it. The advantages here are just staggering. You've got meters of solid rock for natural radiation shielding, way more than anything we could ever launch. Plus, a lot of these asteroids are packed with water ice. You can use that for drinking water, for breathable air. You could even use it to grow food. It's basically a pre-built, resource-rich spaceship just hanging out in space, waiting for us.
So let's just compare these two approaches, side by side. On one side, you've got the traditional mission. A cramped capsule, not much shielding, and every single drop of water, every ounce of supplies has to be painstakingly launched from Earth. And on the other side, a spacious habitat that you could literally carve out of solid rock, with all the natural radiation protection you could want and a built-in supply of water. It's not just an improvement, it's a total game changer.
Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. But it's not. This is real. Scientists have actually gone through the astronomical data, and they've already found 12 high-priority candidates. These are real asteroids that we are actively tracking, and they're already in or very close to these perfect cycler orbits.
So this isn't just a vague concept anymore. We have actual targets to work with. Let's take a look at one of the top candidates, an asteroid called 2015 TJ1. This thing is about the size of a city block. It makes a close pass by Earth about every 4 years, and the trip from our neighborhood to Mars takes just 175 days. Totally doable.
And because we have these specific targets, we can start to map out what a real mission might look like. So check this out. We could send a robotic mission in, say, 2027 to get the asteroid ready. Install a habitat, start mining for water. Then, on February 12th, 2031, when that prepped asteroid swings by Earth, the human crew hops on. And just 175 days later, on August 1st, they arrive at Mars.
So in the end, these ballistic cyclers, that's what they call them, because they're just coasting on gravity and momentum, they could really be the key. They're not just transport. They're our ready-made hubs, our deep space rest stops. They could give us a level of safety and sustainability out there that we could just never get by launching everything from Earth.
And that really leaves us with a big question to chew on, doesn't it? Is this whole asteroid highway idea just a really cool, efficient way to get to Mars? Or are we looking at something much, much bigger? Could these be the natural stepping stones that humanity uses to finally truly become a multiplanetary species, the start of our real future in the solar system?